Welcome to We Seek First podcast, where we talk about living life as a Christian and everything in between. We are your hosts, Takara,
Katrina,
Latresa,
and LaQuinta.
Join us every week for a fresh episode. But today we have an exciting episode for you, so sit back, relax, and let's talk.
We are strong enough to withstand without having that group of people.
And I think that's one of the reasons God gave our parents 10 kids.
Oh
Yeah,
we
'cause
have
would be
each
alone.
other.
Yeah.
We
'Cause
have
don't
such
have-
a big family.
Yeah.
We could care less about but friends and buddies and
Yeah.
hang
Well,
out.
I care about
we hang
friends.
with each
Yeah.
other. No, but what I'm saying, we don't live our life
For
to-
friends.
Yeah,
No,
like,
I'm not trying
yeah.
to.
Some people act like they have to have friends and have to have somebody to hang with and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like
I'm
we
not
have
like
each
that.
other. Like
Yeah.
to me, there are people out there that I consider, good people or
Mhm.
whatever, and I'll talk to you or whatever, but I don't really care about having a friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this
I
is
think
my
because
friend
you
and this
have
is your family.
us.
Yeah.
And it's so much mess that comes
Ooh,
with
yes.
Friends and
all of that
mhm.
out there. Like, I just don't have time for it.
And we know each other.
right, and they don't treat you the way that your sibling would.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like, even though now on the outside, y'all may think that we hate each other because we talk to each other real hard, but that's not hate. That's love. Like
That's
know,
our way. That's how we like to. We're playful, and that's how we like to show our
yeah. We jank and
love. It
yeah,
is.
we
That's how we
we may
interpret
call
it.
each other
Yeah.
ugly, but that
We
don't
don't mean
we
it.
actually
Yeah.
believe. It's like that's our funny banter with each other.
Yeah.
But it's like
It's
on
our
the out-
inside
yeah.
joke.
But on the outside, people do not treat you like that. They always want to bend you to be what they can understand.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like with your family, they're going to love you for who you are, whether they like it or not. I mean, it is what it is.
And I can tell you when you do something off.
Oh, we
Oh,
going to
yeah.
tell you.
We can
We
tell,
going to tell you.
but other people you can't do that.
yeah.
I can't.
You have
say
to
no.
approach it in a different manner.
But we were talking about the characteristics of a Christian,
You're
and
right.
I wanted to just give the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith,
Yes.
meekness,
Mm.
temperance. Those are the things that Galatians said are the fruits of the Spirit. And I know that being a Christian, you're not going to be perfect.
No.
But-
We're only perfected through Christ
Yeah.
again.
But
That's
if
your
you find
perfection.
yourself doing more of the top than the bottom, something is not right.
Something's off
You know?
in your faith. You're not a true believer.
And I kind of wanted to talk about love because
Ooh, that's
That's
so
a big
important.
component.
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah.
question of are you really a Christian, that depends on how you treat other people and how where your love is.
Yes.
Like that is one of the main things that is in the Bible
Mhm.
on how a Christian is supposed to act. And I know a lot of people today, they want to live how they want to live. And when they hear a Christian speak against it, they feel like Christians hate
Or they
people.
feel attacked.
Right.
Passing
right.
judgment.
And it's like,
or
no, I'm just repeating what the word
we're
says.
quoting
Now,
the Bible.
There are Christians who will go to somebody who is a sinner and bash them like, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be doing that.
and
are
they're not
some-
right for it.
Instead of preaching Jesus to that person,
Yeah.
you want to get in their
Change
face and
them.
tell them what
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
doing
That's
wrong.
not the approach that
But are you living right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the most people who go out and try to bash everybody else is not living right themselves
No.
Mhm.
No,
at
no, no.
all.
They just like to argue or
He
debate.
asked nobody to do that. You ain't no preacher. Sit down.
But
John 13:35 says, "By this
Mm-hmm.
shall all men know that you are my disciples,
Mhm.
if you have love one to another."
Yeah.
Mm.
And that pretty much he's saying the way that you'll know if you're a Christian is if you have love for
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And I
And-
think the greatest like how you see it is if this is someone that you call your friend or is close to you, you tell them what the Bible say. If you see that they're going astray, you tell them what Jesus said. Not, oh, I can't be around you because you doing it. I don't know what's going on in your life.
Yeah, and that brings us to the next question. How is a Christian supposed to act toward others?
You
Like-
just answered it.
Yeah,
Love.
yeah. Show love.
And we kind of discussed it a little bit, how a Christian should not be hanging with or, you know,
can't
going
be
along
unequally
with.
yoked.
And there's another verse in the Bible that talks about sin, and if you go along with it or have pled like
Oh, yeah,
laughing
yeah,
about
yeah.
it, you're kind of taking part in it. I don't,
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact words, but
I think it's in Romans 1. I think
Oh,
it
is it?
is.
But-
I think it is.
that made me think, because say you're watching something on TV and they're doing something bad,
Mhm.
and have you ever watched a movie and you're like taking pleasure in it, like you're okay, say if like in the movie it was a married couple and this man cheated on his wife with another woman, but the movie made it to like
His wife,
Like
was
the wife
villain.
was the villain in that
Yeah,
woman. You
and
felt
you-
sorry
and you're
for
like,
her.
no, love her, forget the wife, divorce her.
yeah, it's like the movie will have you thinking, yes, cheat on your wife and be with this woman. Because what's that movie where the couple met every year
Oh,
for like 20 years?
yes,
I know
and
what
they
you're
had
talking
children, deaths in the family, everything
And their
at their little
love
cabin.
was so beautiful in the movie,
It
but they
was.
were both married.
Yes,
And in the movie, I'm like, oh, you can't meet up this year, or what's going on? Like, you wanted them together.
or like when death happened. And they came to the cabin together, and she was there. He cried on her. He didn't even do this with his wife. He cried on her shoulder and broke down. I think his son died in the war.
Are you
Yeah,
talking
he
about
did.
like Barbara Streisand?
No,
That
this was
movie?
No,
not.
it wasn't.
Barbara
Oh,
Streisand.
okay.
This I
It
can't
was
think of
older.
the guy's name. Alan Alda, I think, and
Yeah.
I can't think of her name. I can't think of the name.
I
of the
And
remember.
one
It's
on one of
old.
the scenes, she got pregnant with her husband, and
Yeah.
she came cheating on her
Yes.
husband while pregnant with this dude, and he
Yeah.
delivered the baby.
He did. Because
And
it
it's
was
like-
all under a guise of their business trip, and they have to take it every year.
But it's like little things like that that happen in your life. You kind of find yourself taking pleasure in sin.
Oh,
You know
and
what I mean?
At the end of the movie, when they couldn't see each other anymore and they had to break up, it was like that was the tearjerker. Like everybody cried because it's like, this is the last time.
No,
they're
I
gonna
think
see.
they did end up together because his wife died. But
Did
she
they?
didn't. She didn't want to leave
Now,
her
who wrote
husband.
No, I thought it was where, or maybe they thought this is the last time we're gonna be together. Because I remember I cried. I was like, oh no, they not gonna be together no more. Oh no.
Even though it's just a movie, that was clearly against God.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Girl,
yeah.
sin all lit up and through that cabin.
And it's like you won't, like certain people live a certain way that is not right, but
Mhm.
and you want to.
Well, see, that's when
Um,
feelings come into play
yeah.
because you felt like, oh, that's so sad they can't be together.
But God don't
What's
care about
right?
that.
What is it going against God's word? Like,
Right.
And it's not that if a Christian speaks on something, it's not that they hate you, and it's not that, you know what I'm saying. If a Christian comes to a non-believer in love,
Yeah.
then I don't think they're wrong for saying what they're doing is wrong. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're humans, and I know we have feelings, and you kind of feel sorry for people or whatever. But if they're in sin,
Yeah.
you can't take part in that.
Mhm.
I don't want to get specific, but you know what I'm
Right.
saying.
I think that a lot of human nature tells us that love equals acceptance. And that's not true.
Yeah.
Love does not just accept any old thing. Just because you feel like it's right in your
Mhm.
life, that's not how love works. Love will tell you when, hey, you're going down the wrong road, and this is what happens when people go down this road, and I don't want to see you get to this point. So let me help you by leading you back to Christ. You can take it or you can leave it, but this is what I want to help you with. That's not being hateful because
No.
you don't want this person to end, because the Bible clearly says all sin leads to death.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to help a friend from dying, going down the road that leads to death,
Mhm.
that is not hate.
That's love.
That is what love is, not acceptance. And I think humans get those two mixed up because they want to feel comfortable in their wrongdoing.
Yeah.
And they can't when the truth is, contradicting it.
And it's just like how a parent loves their child.
Yeah.
Like when a child has to get beat,
Yeah.
one day, you know what I mean.
They got to get them
Chastised.
spankings.
Yeah.
Say it nicely.
But the world looks at that as, oh, you're abusing them.
Oh,
You're,
stop
you're
it.
not letting the child choose their own path.
Or you don't love them.
Yeah, and it's
How?
like a good parent is looking at the end.
Yes.
And
You
I think
will.
that's why so many people today act a fool
Mhm.
because they didn't get chastised at home.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why you got teenagers breaking into people's houses
Yep.
and committing murders. Like,
They have no respect for the elderly or anybody.
yep, they don't respect nobody. They don't want nobody to
They
tell them
didn't-
what to do.
They
You
don't even
want to know
respect
why?
their own parents.
The parents didn't make them
They didn't
do what they
require.
were supposed to do. And God says if you chastise them, you love them because you looking at, if I let this child do what he want to do, he going to act a fool, end up dead.
He gonna kill us.
and,
What they used to
and
tell
end
us,
up in hell.
you gonna go and kill your fool self.
Fool self.
But it makes so much sense. Think about a toddler or just, like a 3-year-old who like they haven't been outside all day and you open the front door and like, go honey, go. They're going to run to the road.
And that is so true because my 3-year-old runs straight to the road every
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And I'm like, so you don't want to play in the grass. You
Yeah.
don't want to play by the car. You want to go to the road and get ran over.
And you know why? The road has much more action. There's moving things, but they don't understand that these moving things that you think are so cool will kill you.
And I think because of flesh, 3-year-olds have flesh.
Yes.
And they know my mama don't want me to go in that
Yeah.
road.
And they
Yes.
want to do the
Yeah.
opposite.
It's like your flesh
Yeah.
wants you to do what you're not supposed to do.
Yes.
And they like, I'm finna run to this road. Because I guess some, like your flesh feel like you missing out on something if you don't go out there.
like mama don't want me to have fun.
Yeah.
I'ma show her. It ain't nothing gonna happen. Oh, okay.
The same thing that the devil told Eve in the garden
Oh,
is the same
child.
thing that he telling people today.
Because it's working.
Yeah.
Well, it worked
Using
back
the
then.
same
Yeah.
old trick.
It worked back then.
Child, all
If
through
it
the
ain't broke,
Bible.
he ain't gonna fix
He
it.
was like, sister, beginning of time, this thing is timeless. It works every time.
It's so true because what did he say to her? Like, you missing out. Oh, they just don't want you to have, he don't want you to be like him, you
Yeah.
know? And we fall for it even today. Like when your parents tell you to do something, you feel like they want to keep you from it, or
Yeah.
everybody else is having fun,
Yeah.
and it's just
And if
the
you
devil
know,
is tricky.
if you notice, when you read that scripture, he didn't bring up something that she wasn't thinking about. When you read the scripture, she was saying when she looked at that tree and she looked upon the fruit, it was beautiful. It was something that she desired. It was like, ooh, that do look good. He not going to bring the persimmon tree in the corner that she could have ate off of because that ain't what she desired. So he'll always bring you something that will pick that flesh up and say, ooh, hey, look at this. You know, that's how you know. No, don't listen to that now.
And I wanted to bring up the 15th verse in 1 John, the 2nd chapter, where it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you have a question about, am I a Christian? Do you find yourself like longing for what's in the world? And when you think about it, because we live here, a lot of times we're thinking about, oh, I want this expensive car. I want this big house.
I want all this money to make
Yes.
everybody know I'm doing it.
I want to
Yeah.
be famous. I want everybody to like me.
Yeah.
What good is that doing you if you die tomorrow?
Yeah. These are
Right.
material things that will pass away. Will, not can or it may. No, it will pass away.
Yeah.
And you care more about materialistic things. And even the people who, like the Christians that are like, no, I sing for Jesus in church. You do that because you get standing ovations. That's your platform. You don't want to sing the secular music because, you grew up in a church and this is what you're good at. But it's the same thing. You're
Yeah.
chasing after a standing ovation and not like really giving praise and
To
honor
God.
to God
Mhm.
yourself, and these people are just doing it with you or watching you do it.
Yep. And when you think about life in general, it's not long at
Mm-mm.
all.
Child is like a vapor.
That's what it says.
Like I'm 33 and I cannot believe that I graduated
2004.
2004.
Why do I keep saying
16
14?
years ago.
Yeah,
That
we did.
is like
And I
where did
remember
the time go?
Yeah.
I remember that day when I graduated, but then if you ask me what happened in between, I know what happened. I was there, but I don't really remember that good. Like, it's
But-
like it just like that. It
Yeah.
just happened.
In a Christian's eyes, it's like this world is so temporary.
It
Mhm.
really is.
And so, like, especially when you see people dying in their 20s, 30s,
Yeah.
it's like you didn't have no time here.
Mm.
And God lives
None.
outside of time, so you have to know that He's not gonna be like, oh wait, you haven't made it to 60? Okay, I'll hold off. I won't kill you yet. Like, nah.
And that's what's scary about the whole thing.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't know when God is going to say, okay, time's up, ready or not.
Here
you,
I come.
You about
Yep,
to die.
some people don't have long. I remember it was a girl. She was one of my back in the day. She was one of my friends, and she died at 16.
Oh,
She
yeah.
got into a
I
car
remember that.
accident, and you just wait. It's like an eye opener. Like
Yeah.
you don't have long. Life is not promised to you, and it's just scary.
It is.
It's sad.
And I'm like, I think about this all the time. I don't want to keep wasting time, like,
Yes.
not working on my soul.
Being
and getting
distracted.
Cause that's what the devil will do. He'll distract you with all this worldly stuff and what's
Mhm.
going on, what's trending and
Yeah.
all this
Like,
stuff.
don't nobody care about all that.
But what if you die tomorrow and you stand before God? Like, that's what really matters, because that's gonna be forever. This
Yeah.
world is like,
It's gonna
you're here
pass
for
away.
a little tiny bit of time, really. Because
Yeah.
when you think about a year, I remember Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Me
It
too.
seemed like it was just a few
Girl.
weeks. I know, right?
And I feel
And now
like
it's almost here again.
Yeah.
I feel like time, as we get closer to Jesus coming back, I feel like
Like it's shorter?
like it's time is speeding up. It's like, let's go. Okay, let's go. I
Yeah.
remember when I was younger, like my summers, like now back then, our summers were actually 3 months, not 1 or 2. They were actually 3 whole months, and we went back to school in September, like mid-September, late September. And I remember the summertime feeling like the school year.
Yeah.
It went on forever. And we were like, oh, when will we get to buy school stuff? Now I'm thinking about my child has to go back to school next month.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And I'm like, wait a minute. He just finished. Like, we got to start this thing again?
Yeah, it's like, it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not about to keep just wasting days away.
Oh yeah.
When
Yeah.
God, and He's saying, come on, come
Yeah.
to me. You,
Yeah.
If you waking up, like,
You got
this
breath
is
in your body?
chance.
Yeah.
And just wasting it thinking about all this silly worldly stuff
That you
that,
cannot
does
take
not
with
matter.
yeah.
Yeah.
When they
People
bury
will
you,
kill for
you are
money
alone.
and fame,
Mhm.
and what good is that gonna do you when you're in the grave?
Mm.
And
You can't take your car with you in the grave.
no,
Like,
and then too, all of the things that is happening, everybody knows. If you turn on the news, everybody knows what's going on. But it's kind of like, if you say that you're a Christian, you shouldn't have a place, a thought, a voice, a stance on any of this foolishness that's going on. Because it shouldn't be where, well, I think we should do. It should always be, the Bible tells us to do this.
Mhm.
I can't control what other people do, but I can control myself.
Mhm.
And I'm going to do what God tells me to do. And I'm going to love these people. I'm going to do whatever
As
He
you
says.
were before all of this happened.
Exactly.
I mean, what if you was a Christian before?
What happened?
You should already been in the right place.
And
like,
it shouldn't affect you
Mhm.
yourself in your everyday life, because you're living what you say. It's not a hypocrisy in your mouth. It's what you are. And you're being a good representation of the God that you serve, or the one that you say that you serve. If you contradict what He says in his word, and you're like, well, just throw away the Bible because somebody else wrote that. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, the definition
People
of
make
Christian.
excuses for not following God's
I
word.
just-
They don't want
I've been hearing a lot of
Yeah.
stuff like that, and I'm like, hold on now.
Yeah.
Hold on now. That's what we not gonna do.
Mhm.
Like they getting out of hand.
Well-
And to be honest, if there's a person who call themselves a Christian and there's something in the Bible that you don't like, you might as well be in the same boat with
Yeah.
the antichrist and all the
Yeah.
rest of them.
Yes,
To
because
be honest,
whether you like it or not, me myself, there's a lot of the stuff that's in the Bible that I don't like, and I wish that I could change it.
yeah,
Do I necessarily now? I don't really care about like women having to submit. I don't really care about that. But like that's not my fight. Like I
Yeah.
don't mind. But it's like if I was that type of woman that wanted to be the head of everything, I'd want to change that. Like why I can't? Or I'd be like, well, ain't it Adam's fault? He the one, the leader of me. So it's like these are things that you cannot change. These are things that happen, and if God said it, it is what it is because He has the final say. So you
Yeah.
either get in line or you know where you can go.
Yeah.
and
I
the Bible
mean-
says Jesus said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I hear so many people. I love God. I love.
but do you,
Are you keeping His commandments?
or are you keeping yours?
I mean, are you keeping what God told you to do? Like you call yourself a Christian, you say you love God, but are you really doing what you're supposed to do?
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
If you find yourself not, you don't love God and you are not a Christian. Point blank. Period. I mean,
Listen, I love God. Y'all love God? What's wrong with you?
I'm like, what?
And I'm like, that song in and of itself is foolishness to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that may be unpopular. Y'all ought to know. I don't really care at this point. But it's like, that song is so stupid because it's like, it's not a lifestyle that you're talking about. It's kind of like, I love them Jordans. You don't love them Jordans? What's wrong with you? Or I love Chick-fil-A. You don't like Chick-fil-A? What's wrong with you? Like, Jesus ain't no restaurant, no pair of
Look,
shoes.
that song was just for
entertainment.
money. Purely, yes. And they
Let's
she
be
got
real.
her money for it.
That's
I
her
mean,
job.
Yeah.
And not
She
only
did
that,
it.
Ain't bad at it.
She's
She
an
making
entertainer.
money.
Yeah.
not only that, the way the song was made, it was made for those who
Who
We're
like that
not-
kind of
who
music.
who don't even
yeah.
really listen to
Yeah.
Christian music
Yeah.
now.
To draw in everybody.
Yeah, now
a
they're
different
like,
audience.
And they like the
Hey,
beat. They like the
yeah.
arrangement of the song.
And
yeah.
I don't know if this is off topic, but I kind of feel like it's not. I don't know if this is where you were going to go eventually. But when they play gospel songs in the club, stop it.
I've never been to the club, so I don't know.
So
I
I've
remember.
never heard gospel
No, they
songs.
played Kirk Franklin on Soul Train. Oh, I was flipping through the channel and they played one of his songs on Soul Train. I was like, really, y'all?
okay, so
Were the people on the show praising God, or were they like?
Oh no, they were
"Hey"?
dancing. It was like a head.
so
that kind,
don't,
you know.
they don't. But
Y'all have to remember when these are people, this is their jobs. They are making
Yeah.
money.
Oh yeah.
When they have that in mind, when they create music, they're trying to reach everybody. It
Right.
ain't just for
Oh, I know.
Grandma Susie.
Yeah.
They want to reach everybody. That it's gonna
But
help the pockets.
you know what was funny? Mary song. Now I love Mary.
Oh yeah, I
Love
do.
them. But I remember when the Shackle song was old to us.
Mhm.
But when I first fell in love with K-dramas, it's kind of like over there, that far away, things in America could happen and they don't hear about it until maybe 6 months to a year.
Mm.
So this had been years. It's old to us, but it's new to them. And on one of the K-dramas, it was one of the action ones with like gangs or whatever, I guess. And they were in a strip club. Now, you have to remember on K-dramas back then, they didn't have like strippers. They just had women who were scantily clad. They wasn't taking off.
Please
nothing. They
don't
were
say
just-
they played
they were,
Shackle.
yes, they were
Oh.
dancing. Wait,
Wow.
they had a pole.
Wow.
They had a
Okay, but
pole.
the lyrics of the song
It-
doesn't match though.
It
Exactly.
does not
Listen,
at all.
They had a
Well,
pole.
take the shackles off my feet so I can dance.
Dance.
That
I
stripper
just-
wanted to dance.
I just want to praise you.
And also, they had the
Yeah.
pole, but when you get to the end of
That's
the song
crazy.
where they were like, "Can I get a revolution?" Woo, woo, Oh wait, hold on. That's a
Oh,
different song.
yes.
Yeah, you're doing Kirk Franklin.
Wait. No,
I don't
what's
remember.
What's the end of their song?
It
The
doesn't.
Shackles?
It doesn't even
Anyway,
matter.
they was throwing their hands up in the air as if they praising God, but they was in a strip
No,
club.
I'm sorry. They was wrong for that.
That
Because
does
the
not
lyrics of
match
the song
at all.
does
But
not match.
you know
I
what
don't
that
see how they
tells
did it.
me? You know what that tells me? That tells me when anyone hears that song, they do not hear Christ. Because really, when you think about it,
I don't know about that.
when you think about it, it's kind of like what's a hymn like Amazing Grace. Would you hear that in the club?
No, no.
Why not?
Because
I
the
wonder why.
it's the arrangement.
Yeah.
It's the music that
beat,
you
yeah,
are
yeah.
specifically pointing out. That's just the music.
I think it depends on the person listening.
Yeah.
Well, they said that they didn't understand English, so if it just sounded good, they
Right,
put it on.
that's
TV.
what I'm saying.
Like,
They're
now
going
they
by
do,
the
but
music.
Then they
Yeah.
did.
The music
Now I
in the
know there
song.
were a lot of people who just liked the beat. They
Yeah.
weren't thinking about
Oh,
the
they
words.
played that in the club too.
But there may have been some people who actually, like the song because of the words. So
Right.
I think it depends on the listener and where their head is.
Mhm.
But verse 16 says, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh
Mhm.
and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of God abideth forever." And when I think about stuff like this, it's so many benefits of being a Christian.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, the world is gonna pass away, and the world is just no good.
Mhm.
Child,
Even
it's hard
if you
living
are
here.
on the side of the world,
Yeah.
It's still
them
hard.
people
It
don't
is.
love each other. They don't
No.
think about you. They don't care about you. They will hurt you.
I think it's
steal
a
from
harder
you.
life.
Kill
It
you.
is.
There's no
Yeah.
unity.
You
Yeah.
have you noticed us growing up? People be like, "Why are y'all so close?" Like I don't know
we
nobody,
don't
not
have
even
anybody
my
else.
family. But they're like in their families, everybody hate each other. Everybody fighting.
Yeah, I had people
the
say
family
two
reunion, they
sisters and they
fighting.
hate each other and like
Or I ain't talked to her,
Mhm.
and we fought one day, and I ain't talked to her in 10 years. And they're like, "Why y'all like each other? Why?"
Oh yeah, somebody
Well,
asked
good
me that.
grief.
Like, how was your sister your best friend?
Yeah,
Because I don't have anybody else. I
because
mean,
in the
dog.
world there's no love.
why you gotta put it like that? though? Like, the last resort.
No, maybe I shouldn't
Really?
have said that. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe
did.
that's why. Okay.
I would have took offense.
Excuse me.
That
But
ain't-
I think about non-believers or people who do not believe in God. Who do they call on when
when they're in
God.
trouble.
the plane
They
about to
call on
crash, or a car is
God.
about to run into you,
God.
or your child
Well,
is
no,
in the
some
hospital
people
dying?
don't know who to call,
Ding, ding, ding.
and
God.
they're just like,
Listen, let me tell you something.
Nope.
I don't care what nobody
Everybody
says.
does
They
not
make-
call on God.
I don't
But
think
I
They
was
so.
call
about
on
to
their
say,
mama,
yep,
they
mama,
daddy,
daddy,
sister.
Okay, now
help.
some
yeah.
people may, but I
Some
think
people
that
don't know.
most people, even if they don't want to call what they believe in God, I think most people know there is something greater than us out there. I've heard people talk about, they're like, well, I don't want to call it God because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's another, some aliens or something. But they know that we have no control and there is something else bigger and greater than us. They don't know what it is.
Mhm.
But 9 times out of 10, what do people be doing when something come up? They, oh God, you can't tell. You know it's something that you want to, and they
Now,
always
some
say
people
that.
just go to cussing.
Okay, now,
I'm telling you, everybody don't call
Everybody-
on
yeah.
God. Some people don't know who to call on.
well, I
See,
think God,
I have
that
talked
I
to
know.
people. I have talked to people, and they tell me a story about how they were in trouble, and they didn't say nothing about God. Like
So-
they were in desperate need of help. They didn't call on God. I was
I
like,
couldn't
honey,
imagine.
I can't imagine it either.
Like, what do you do? Where's your hope? Where do
I
you
know.
I
Where
have
is
go?
your
no
help?
idea.
They have no hope, they and
Because
putting their
there's
trust
some
in
things that happen
Yeah.
to you in your
It is.
life where can't
You
nobody help
need
you.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need some
Man.
divine intervention. as
Even
they
the
say.
doctors can't help you
Mhm.
Yeah.
sometimes, and it's like, what do you
I don't know.
do?
I have
no idea.
And I know somebody who is actually atheist,
Mhm.
and he is one of the most hateful people.
Really?
I see him on social media sometimes. I don't see him in my daily life, but I see some of the stuff he put on social media. He has so much hate for everybody and
Really?
everything.
Oh, I couldn't follow him.
And-
He can't be on my friend.
No, I know him from school. He wasn't in my grade. He was in a grade a little lower, but
Yeah.
he talks in a kind of way. He's weird. Like, it's just, I don't know. It just seemed like without God or belief
You
in
have
God,
no
there's
hope.
Or you're
no
alone.
hope.
Yeah.
Like, what are you living for? What are you, like, what do you do on a daily basis? Like,
know.
I don't, it's
don't know.
weird to think how to live. How do you live without God?
I don't know.
I don't want that life.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of We Seek First podcast. You can find us on our blog at www.weseekfirst.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at We Seek First. Again, thank you for your support and join us next time for a bit of encouragement as Christ encourages us.